everyone, welcome back to my Let's Play of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. When we last left off, we finished the case of Mr. Natsume. I always forget, I forget his first name, whatever, Natsume. And it turns out that the blunt-tipped knife bounced off a window and then stabbed a woman in the back on the street below, which, you know, I at the end of last episode, I was kind of like sitting there a little bit like dumbfounded, but I don't know. The Phoenix Wright games sometimes have a long way to go for you for the suspension of disbelief, and it's no fault against them. I mean, it makes for an interesting case, I guess, if not one that's a little bit maybe too unrealistic. I don't think that could have happened really in any scenario unless the knife was really sharp. And it wasn't, so I don't know. But it's fine, it was an interesting enough case. I'm glad that Natsume wasn't guilty, unlike frickin' what's-his-face that burned to death in that carriage. But yeah, so we're gonna go on today. I think this background changed to reflect where we'll be living. Because Sherlock Holmes, oh yeah, nope, sorry, Sherlock Sholmes offered us a place to live, so I just wanted to show the screen since it changed, and yeah, we're just gonna jump in. I want to say thank you guys so much for your good taste for the series. I'm gonna get 2 to 3 episodes of this out to you guys the rest of this week, hopefully. I'm gonna record 2 today, and then go from there, so thanks for your patience. I started school this week for my second master's, so trying to figure out a new schedule. I feel like I'm always trying to figure out a new schedule, but I hope you guys are doing well. And let's be in the attic, I guess. 20th of February, 4:41 p.m., the attic room. It's Persona 5! Please don't make me clean it. So this is to be our new office, yes. Our office? I rather like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? Aw, I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Whoa! You look so different! Ah, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. Hold on, my game is very loud in my ears. There we go. Alright. Oh god, I forgot what voice I gave you. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. Susie, that's so cute. I gave her like an accent, but girly, I guess. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Ah ha 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 ha! Those are precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry? London is a glorious place full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows. I'm pretty sure that's a line in Kingdom Hearts, not gonna lie. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Naruhodo. What? Welcome to London. Okay. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came. To lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Yay. End. End of the chapter? That's not the end of the game, right? Trophy earned landed in London. There's usually, what, 5 cases? Is this the last one? Yo, already? The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. Huh. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Oh. Oh, yo, we're doing the Hound of the Baskervilles? No, really? So the Hound of the Baskervilles is another legitimate Sherlock Holmes story. It's the one where I think people think they're seeing like a not like a ghost, but like a spirit, like a huge monster dog. But I think it's actually like some kind of hallucinogenic or something, like something making people hallucinate. I don't remember. I know I'm more familiar with the TV show episode from BBC, but I don't remember if that was true to the actual book. I did read this story in the book, but I don't remember how it went. So this ought to be a treat. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Story says a hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Yeah, so like a huge, massive, very spiritual, demonic dog. So, interesting. Start from the... Nope. Start from the start. Yeah. Oh, I could have read it here. The Unspeakable Story.
It's coming! Sholmes' cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles."
Dun dun dun! I had to turn it up for the cutscene. Let me turn it back down. There we go. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Saseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. Which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. 15th of April, 9:13 a.m. Hey, that's my birthday, 9:13. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Ooh, so cool. Oh. Knick-knack, paddywhack, open the door. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So, shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. Girl, are you okay? The telegram? So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Uh-huh. Sorry, but you're not gonna get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. Soseki-san! I suppose Soseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering what might have become of Soseki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean, as regards Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes. I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into significance in that case. The Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper? Right? That punk-ass vampire? Like the way that Nightmare's trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Soseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the Sword of Justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Soseki-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry? What was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Okay, so like, I wonder. Because I thought it was weird that he came back to court right as we did, and I'm curious if it has to do, like, were he and Kazuma, like, enemies? I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, did he want to face off against Kazuma, and then he just settled for me because Kazuma wasn't there? I don't know. Let's move downstairs. The home and office of the world-famous great detective and his young companion, Iris. It seems people from all over the globe come to engage his consulting detective services. Breakfast time! 15th of April, Sholmes' suite. Morning, Runo. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Do you hear that, like, dying violin in the background? What the heck is that? Ew. Okay. Iris? What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise? Sounds like a cat being strangled. Oh, yes, you noticed that, did you? Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Oh! Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning? A good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before... Huh. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. He's lost his mind, I don't know. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Oh, cat! Oh, hello! Oh my god! Oh, look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. Oh my god, you precious baby! Oh my god, he's got a little bow tie. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. How did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. Oh, it would indeed be a fine day to die. I do something look different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Papers? Wanting to dive. Oh, the typewriter? Wait, I don't remember. Hey, you seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melosonant tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled emotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? You sound like shit, Hurley. Don't worry, I'm sure it will come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Ah! Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? The missing machine. Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but... your desk looks rather empty today. Ah, well done, Miss Susato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windybanks now. Sorry? It's at a windy bank? No, Windybanks. The pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? How pawnbroking works. Here we go. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea! This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious! So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windibanks, you see? A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that? Even What did I just say? That pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Like me. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Okay. Here, it's not dead to you. I'm an armband. Okay, never mind. Examine? What's up, girl? Oh, Waga, hi! Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy. Oh, so cute. Huh. It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews is empty as the hearts of the muses. You take that back, you hoe. Oh! If Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Oh yeah, a cat basically killed Kazuma, you know what I mean? Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Oh my god! Yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed. You are observant, Runo. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the cat flamat. Flapomat. Cat flapomat? What? Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right, it can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Hehehe. Oh my god. Oh, what was that? Wagahai? Ouch. If that cat gets hurt, I am boycotting Atlas for the rest of my life. What was that? Oh no. Wagahai's tangled up in your violin. I think he thinks it's a toy. No, what's he doing to it? Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Where is the cat? I mean, it looks fine. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music, to tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none! He keeps yelling at me. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Susato? Oh, Susie's right! Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Someone stole his violin? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Oh, is it a viola? Then what? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. Hey! Being in choir for 8 years, or however many years, came in clutch. What? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right? Oh, you're right! You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then? Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? Oh, the pawnbroker? This is just a simple mix-up. Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Did he pawn that? I don't think he should have pawned it, dude. Hey girl, what's up? I mean, I wouldn't bet that the pawnbroker might not know jack shit about a violin versus a viola. What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this violin... this viola, I mean... was at Windibanks until last week. At the pawnbroker's? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. Yeah, idiot. There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea! What? Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Winterbake mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw, a fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault that sometimes doesn't give you your object back. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, fressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Winterbake's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Miss Susato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fress your egg even more obtusely. All right, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, Runa. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbrokers looks like. Can't say that word today, man. Alright, Home Skilly Biscuit, we're gonna be going. But first, I'm gonna call this an episode here. Thank y'all so much for watching. As always, feel free to leave a like, comment, favorite, or subscribe, whatever you guys are feeling. And until the next time, lights off, dark out.